Hey guys, welcome to the third video for my birthday week. And by third video, I mean third video of my top 10s, not the third one released. Actually, I don't know how I'm releasing these. Wow. But today, to wrap things up, we're going to be talking about my top 10 favorite video games. Ever since I was like 5 and I got my Game Boy, video games have kind of been a part of me, and it's been so fun to explore different lores, different characters, to just jump into that world and control those guys, and just have fun with it. But there are 10 video games that have stood out to me throughout the test of time. Some new, some old, or fun. So let's get into it. By the way guys, if y'all didn't know, this was done in honor of my birthday, in case you can tell by this. And the gift, the best gift y'all could give me is a subscription. Let's do it. Now let's get it. Now coming in at number 10 is, believe it or not, Mario vs. Donkey Kong on the Game Boy Advance. And the whole reason for this is because Mario vs. DK actually has history with me. But the whole thing about Mario vs. Donkey Kong was that it was my first Game Boy game. Not just my first Game Boy game, it was my first video game like ever. I know there are a bunch of probably other better games for the Game Boy, but Mario vs. Donkey Kong, it was my first game and it was my heartwarming game. It was, for some reason it was just so fun to collect all those presents and get back the mini Marios, and it was so cool to 100% it. And it was just a fun time all around. So Mario vs. Donkey Kong, number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Hitman, and I'm going to be talking about Hitman as an entirety, but at the same time, Hitman 2 is going to get the spotlight for this because it's my favorite of the Hitman games. And the whole thing about it was that I've never imagined that a game like a stealth killer could fare so well with me, you know? Most of the time we're thinking of those awesome like first-person shooter games that are so cool, or something like those games where you control characters with swords, and yet I never thought that a game like Hitman, which is based around strategic operation, using what's around your surroundings to complete a particular goal or a particular set of goals, would intrigue me so much. But I guess it's because I like to think a lot about how to do things, and I guess that's what gives me my sense of logistics. So it's pretty cool. Oh, you know what? Resourcefulness. That's another thing. So it's pretty cool how Hitman 2 has kind of been really cool on me. It's fun. It's just really fun. And it really does put my mind to work. So, yeah. Coming in at number 8, it's Spider-Man for the PS4. Now, first of all, I really hate that it's only for the PS4, but at the same time, most of my games are for the PS4 anyway, so don't complain. But I feel sorry for those who can't enjoy this game. I feel like it's a good way to bring Spidey into the video game sphere, even though he's had like a bunch of video games before. And his combat system is just so spectacular. But the story also pans out well. I love how it works in the Sinister Sticks, all the missions, and just the way that Spider-Man controls in general. And even his web swing mechanic and his combat. And I probably said it before, but again, it's how much I love about it. Pretty awesome game. Coming in at number 7 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I don't think this would have originally have been on my list until I revisited it during my 100% completion campaign. I think it also has to do with the amount of DLC that they're adding to the game. They're basically doubling all the courses in the game. So we revisited it, and it's so much fun to play these. And the whole thing is that Mario Kart is just a good time all around. It's one of those happy, enjoy it games. Now, my whole thing was that Mario Kart is just a really awesome time. And especially when you get a good bit of friends who know what they're doing, who are having fun with it, you could really come to enjoy a good session of Mario Kart. Mario Kart, it feels like one of those feel-good games. It's one of those games where you can have a good time. Even if you're completely competitive about it, you could just have a good time with it, you know? Plus adding all the extra Nintendo characters. Honestly, Nintendo, put more Nintendo characters in it. That would be so cool. Up next should be Captain Falcon, and Pikachu, and Fox. Oh, the possibilities! Coming in at number 6 is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And oh boy, for this being the first foray into open world Zelda, I think this was one of the best experiences in terms of exploration, things to do. Again, the other puzzle solving of all the shrines in Hyrule. And the whole story, my only gripe with it is that once you beat Ganon, there's nothing else to do. It basically resets you to a point before you beat Ganon. But The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, with all its graphical prowess and its ability to make an open world game fun. It's just fun. What else is there to say about it? Coming in at number 5 is Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Honestly, this was my first foray into either game series. I know, right? Worst place to start. Your first adventure in either Ace Attorney or Professor Layton is through a crossover of them. But to me, it works. I know a lot of people complain about the story, but I kind of enjoy that. No matter how absurd it is and how much plot holes I keep finding, because I'm analytical like that. I'm just like, this is so cool to see Professor Layton and Luke Triton and Phoenix Wright and Maya Fey all team up to help Espella. And I know people say that Espella is like a bland character, but she's pretty interesting from my point of view. And the whole story of Labyrinthia is such a really awesome example of world building that I had to give it to the team who made this game. And the idea of how they combined both elements from both games to create an amazing crossover was incredible in my mind. And even the witch trial aspect, which looks like as though it ends up getting reused in the Grace Ace Attorney, which is also on the Switch. I haven't played through it, so but that was what I was getting. But it was so interesting, the colorful cast of characters that they created for this, because they ended up making new characters to use in this game. And the whole world and the story that they've done, I just love it. Plus, each character and each aspect gets its time to shine. I just really love this game. Alright, coming in at number 4 is Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus, however you want to pronounce Pokegod's name. But I think this has to do a lot with like the experimentation into the open world aspect that they would eventually incorporate into Scarlet and Violet, mixing in with the gameplay that this game had to bring to the table. And at the same time, it also has to do with how to complete the game, or how you end up getting 100% completion. I really love a lot of the aspects that Pokemon Legends Arceus brings forth with it, and what feels like an experimentation to what we would get in Gen 9 with Scarlet and Violet. But also, I feel like as though this is a style of gameplay that should come back. Like for instance, did you know that you could complete multiple tasks at the same time? But the whole thing about it was just really fun, and I can't wait to see if they would ever bring Legends back to the front. Coming in at number 3, and this is another one that has cemented itself in my life, it's Fable. For some reason, I just really enjoyed exploring the land of Albion. Apparently, one thing that I've come to realize with doing this list is that I really cling to games that deal with exploration. Like the Hero of Oakvale is just really cool, and the whole aspects of being able to pick whether he's good or evil, and it's having an actual effect on your character. Like, not just that, but apparently what you eat also affects his body type, and there's a level of attractiveness that you could also affect. So the whole aspect of being able to play with these and create somebody who's like good and handsome, or evil and handsome, or evil and ugly, is just really awesome. It's really cool. I've really enjoyed Fable. I've enjoyed the stuff that Fable brings to the table. I hear that they're reboosting the game, and it's really going to be fun to dive into that. And now in number 2, it's Watch Dogs Legions, because Legions has like one of the most interesting aspects I've ever thought to see. And that's not only the idea of hacking, but it's also the idea of being able to play as whoever you want, as long as you go and recruit them, and people can get hospitalized or straight up killed or whatever, and the cycle just keeps like going, all in your attempt to basically beat the game. And my whole thing about it has to do with its sci-fi aspects. Like, I've really enjoyed being able to hack stuff. And when I was playing the original Watch Dogs, it was so awesome. Especially in the last few missions where somebody's hacking everything. I can't remember the story of Watch Dogs well, but because I was all in it for the gameplay of being able to do the hacking stuff and the cybersecurity, I know it's like my number 2, and I don't know the lore of Watch Dogs apart from the fact that the first guy's name is Adrian Pierce and the second guy's name Marcus Holloway. My point is that I've really enjoyed Watch Dogs for its gameplay above all else. It's one of the games where I don't focus on the story, I focus more on how it's played, and I've just enjoyed that bit, especially when it came to a lot of the hacking sections. I think as a technology type guy, that kind of stuff would interest me so much. Now, this was obvious. This was coming up. Number 1 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And guys, you all knew that this was coming. We've done 2 videos on Smash on the channel before. And my whole thing is that I just enjoy the combats and I enjoy playing Smash Bros. Especially with other hardcore friends. A lot of my college life was enveloped in Smash Bros. You know, I've also enjoyed playing with the friends I have now, like Isaac. And the cast of characters that Sakurai decided to use this time around, I may be upset that Phoenix Wright didn't make it, and he was like probably my pipe dream character. But the other characters that they picked, both new and DLC, because when I say picks, it really is just him dumping the entire roster into one game. It's just so amazing. Plus, I've enjoyed a lot of what refinements were made to this game, especially now with air dodging and how fast you can launch other characters. And I just love Smash Bros. It's also one of the games I've enjoyed to train Amiibo with. I don't have words for how much I've enjoyed Smash, and maybe it's because of the community that I've grown around, or rather the friends I've grown around with Smash Bros. But Smash Bros holds a place in my heart now, you know? From Brawl to Wii U, but especially, and now Ultimate. It's just so good, it's just so nice. Anyway guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Thanks so much for watching. That is another good present, but the best present that y'all could ever give me is subscribing down below. A lot of these videos are actually ad-libbed, and for some reason I feel like I did a better job with this one than the first one. These are actually shot out of order, by the way, so yeah. But yeah, be sure to subscribe. That'll be the best present ever, guys. And until then, I will see you all in the next video.